Hello everyone, my name is Ashley Otori and I'm the owner of Seventh Witch House. So today we're going to be talking about the Regeneration of Love Candle and a little bit about um, relational intimacy. Um, so if you deprive an organism of what it needs, then it'll become very sick. And in relationship, what it needs in order to thrive and be well is intimacy, love, and stability. Instability is is relational sickness, and too much sickness, and the relationship will die. So, if you have ever been in a toxic relationship, then you very much understand that concept that instability is relational sickness, and sometimes sex itself is the issue in a relationship, and in cases like that, not perhaps, but in situations like that, most of the time, a couple will begin to avoid sex altogether, and and avoid intimacy altogether in order to preserve that stability and in order to not get into fights if sex is the original issue. But those efforts always fail because the sheer lack of intimacy itself becomes destabilizing for a relationship, and it drains both partners, and until there's just nothing left. The lack of intimacy is so destabilizing because the intimacy, that rush, is what keeps you feeling alive in a relationship. It's that rush, that excitement that you have in the beginning of a relationship that becomes so intoxicating and so addicting. And when it starts to wane, it's soul crushing, and and it can cause very intense anxiety and a lot of different problems that you'd never assume are tied to your relationship, but they are. Um, one of the biggest problems is an increase in just being an angry person. So if a person feels drained, they don't feel alive. Um, a lot of times you'll find them, snapping at someone, or snapping at their kids, or snapping at their friends or other people, or completely withdrawing, or having incredibly low self-esteem, and and a lot of these are symptoms of being in a toxic relationship where everything is very unstable, because your relationship many times is your foundation, and the state of your relationship a lot of times is the platform for how the rest of your day is going to go. And anyway, so go back to you know so going back to what a relationship needs. It needs intimacy, but it also needs stability, and it needs also emotional honesty and emotional maturity, which comes with stability. So a toxic couple, a union with two people who are very emotionally immature, will end up bouncing crisis to crisis because they can't be open and emotionally honest with each other. It's always all or nothing, and leaves you in this horrible back and forth ping pong game of emotion. Um, so so that that never ending game ends up creating severe trauma, and again, just a series of emotional crises that can be incredibly jarring, and will ultimately lead your relationship to fail and just go down in flames in a very big way, typically. So the paradox in relationships is that typically the longer they go on for, and the more important that you become to the other partner, the harder sometimes it is to create an intimacy between you two. And the reason for this is because there's this anxiety that becomes attached as the person grows closer to you, and you realize that you are much more prone to being hurt by their disapproval or judgments or rejections. And so sometimes it's just a natural cycle of the mind to push away things that you're scared of losing, and it creates an air of emotional dishonesty. And suddenly you're trapped in this loop of anxiety, and the idea of an affair becomes attached to the idea of escape. And anyway, that's why affairs are so alluring to people. It's because it's a time for them to escape and to take part in physical pleasures without the anchor and the attachment to any kind of real sense of loss. And this, of course, is no good. It's a paradox. It's no good. That's no good at all. And it will lead you to heartbreak, and it'll lead you to loss, and it will lead you to all kinds of bad things. So anyway, this Regeneration of Love Candle is meant to create a much stronger bond between you and your partner. And it's also meant to bring intense stability and peace and emotional maturity of you both. It requires stability and intimacy in a relationship at the same time requires emotional maturity. And you need to both be able to be open and honest with each other about what you want, what you don't want, without the fear of losing each other. And that's what this will create. This will create the opportunity to be open and honest and to bond again and to lose that sense of anxiety of being close and being truly intimate with your partner. This can also be used post-breakup, and this can be used if you are in a toxic situation and you have all these highs and lows and highs and lows. If you want to create an anchor and a stable foundation and something that is lasting, then this is a great product to use. So this is the candle. It is $75. And again, you can buy it at the orderofdarkarts.com. So you will be given the instructions when you receive it, and there's more detailed instructions about what you'll do, but you will basically use this 6 minutes a day, 7 days out of the week, all in a row. You have to do it, and you have to do the spell exactly how it's laid out. You will notice a very, very fast shift in everything. You'll notice everything between you and your partner feeling warm and open. You'll experience less anxiety, and you'll achieve a closeness that you hadn't had for a very long time, and that you may have only had in the beginning when losing each other wasn't as scary. It will create a rush of excitement and a feeling of newness, that little honeymoon feeling where you want to get to know each other all over again. It's meant to be extremely impactful and just extremely regenerative. And you will absolutely not regret this one. I definitely put my all into these regeneration candles, and they have quite a few rituals already bound to them. So enjoy. And again, you can get this one at theorderofdarkarts.com, and you'll be given the spell and everything else you need with it. So until next time, see you around.